Hi, it's David Balliol again from Southgate Imaging. Today I want to talk to you about something very specific. In this case, it's going to be orchestra photography in a small to mid-sized venue. What's important, what to think about beforehand, and how to be successful. So let's talk about it. So I've been doing symphony photography with Symphony Nova Scotia for the last almost 10 years now. And back when I started, I was working with one other photographer they had. And the most important thing we were told was be stealth, be quiet, don't disturb the patrons. So in order to do that with a DSLR, what that really means is you have to barely shoot on applause. On applause, the noise level goes up, you can get your shots, which is kind of good because you generally want, which brings me to number two, you generally want pictures with the audience in frame of enjoying the show. So you kind of got two birds with one stone when you're shooting on applause. So you're not distracting them with noise, you're out of their way, you're being respectful of the audience, and you're getting the applause. So you're getting, oh, this is a great performance, look at this, people are standing up, people are happy. So that's very important. So really the two big rules were respect the audience, respect the patrons, and get the audience in frame, which is the most important things. Those are the photos that they'll want to use. It's kind of contrary to what you would think. You would think you'd want to see close-ups of the performers and this and that. In a symphony, that's not really what they want. What they want is to show pictures of the audience enjoying the show, and they want to see pictures of the entire symphony. So they want to show it's a 50-piece symphony or whatever, orchestra. That's really what you got to keep in mind. So don't shoot for what you want as a photographer. You got to shoot for what your client is going to need in their social media and in their publications, in their programs, things like that. So camera settings now in this venue, it's like a cakewalk for me. I know what I need. I'm shooting a pair of Nikon Z6s, and I'm shooting between 2000 and 6400 ISO settings. That's pretty much where I'm going to be. My cameras are pretty much f4, so I generally am shooting a 2470 f4 on a Z6, and I'm shooting a 7200 f4 on a Z6. Occasionally I'll go with an 85 if I want to get more audience shots, because now I'm shooting a dark audience, so I'll have an 85 1.8, and I'll be able to shoot at 1.8 and get more of that. Or the occasional shot, I'm just in the mood to shoot at 1.8. There's things you can do with 1.8 that you can't do. So the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to go and look at the locations in the theater. This is what I would call small to mid-sized theater. I think it's a 1200 seater. I'm not sure it's approximately what it is. But there's some nice safe spots to shoot in there where you're not going to bother anybody. And there's some spots in there where you're going to bother people. You might want to go. You just can't go. It comes back to rule number one, respect the audience. So here's the layout of the Rebecca Cohn. An older theater, but in really great shape, actually, in the Dalhousie campus. It's I think it seats 1,200. So the main floor is shown here. There's really about 4 shooting positions. So if you go stage left, you'll see it there. The left aisle in the very front, there's a nice shooting position in there that you can get some unique shots, and you can make sure that you're getting the audience involved with them. So there is one good spot there. The safest spot in a whole venue to shoot is down the wall on the right, so you can move the whole the whole length of that wall. And there's some little center jogs there you'll notice, and they're fantastic for photographers because you can kind of hide in there. So they're great spots. The other 2 good spots are the wheelchair accessible areas just there in the back of the theater. You'll see them on the right and the left, and you can move between those without being in people's way. No problem at all. I use the back 2 positions a lot because you get a nice wide shot of the orchestra. So some of the best viewpoints are actually in the balcony. So I'll move up to the balcony. There's stairs there. You'll see them in the back of the balcony where all the audience generally enters. So in the balcony, basically, I just use the walkway there, like the center left, right areas in the main walkway back there between the top and the bottom of the balcony. It's really good. You get nice views. I only move in there on applause again. So if I'm in center balcony, I'll stay there until there's applause, and I'll move maybe left, and then I'll move to the right on the next applause, and then I can actually leave on the right hand side through the steps. So the other technical thing I'll talk about is silent shutter. So silent shutter is just a boon for symphony photography. It's really good. You don't disturb patrons, and that's what you want. However, the downside of silent shutter is that you'll get banding, particularly with the Z6s. You get a lot of banding, and that is like the LED backgrounds and what they're projecting on the screen, that kind of stuff. So you'll get banding, and it doesn't look pretty if you don't know it. To the non-photographer eye, a lot of times people don't notice it. I notice it. You don't want that banding if you don't have to. As far as my actual shooting strategy, usually the first 2 or 3 or 4 songs, I'm shooting the whole songs and I'm moving around while I'm doing that, and then I'll sit down. You don't have to overshoot a concert. It's important, like just to let them kind of fall into a groove, if you know what I mean. Especially if you're shooting a performer like I could be shooting at the Cohn and just doing like another performer like Jimmy Rankin or something. They know the camera's there. They know where the camera is, and they're going to be giving you what you want. But you got to know when to sit down. You don't have to shoot every song of the whole show. You don't have to do any of that. The other shots I will wait for is at the end of the show. You get the standing ovation, or you'll get the encore and all that, and you'll get the standing ovations. They can be very, very dramatic shots. They're great. So I'll wait for those and get those. So again, concert photography is a very rewarding thing to be doing. It's a lot of fun. It's really what got me into photography in general. We really, really enjoy it. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment. Love to hear the comments. Let me know how you would shoot a venue like this. Would you do anything different? And finally, subscribe. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe. And anyway, again, thanks.